that shouts at the starting line but will speaks only at the finish. You felt pain, you've been under pressure, but you haven't truly seen power until you've looked into the eyes of someone who refused to break. The world throws storms, fire, and silence not to make you stronger, but to see if you flinch. Will isn't hype, hope, or good intentions. It's the silent force that remains when everything else has collapsed. It doesn't cry, boast, or seek applause. It just stands. Most have seen talent, energy, even brilliance. But will is different. It's unshakable silence, pain turned to clarity. Discipline born in the hardest places. It arrives when you're exhausted, when no one would blame you for quitting. It's gripping reality with cut hands and saying, "Not yet. I'm not done." You can be smart, gifted, even loved, and still lose, because without will, you crumble. When life demands proof, will isn't tested when things are hard. It's tested when they're unbearable, when quitting feels like mercy, when no one checks on you, and you work anyway. Most never see their edge because they treat comfort like a reward and pressure like a punishment. But those with will breathe pressure like air until everything else breaks first. They walk into rooms and change the temperature without speaking. That strength is built through nights when the only thing keeping you alive is the voice saying, "You don't quit here." True discipline matters only if it survives fire. True focus counts only if it holds when everything's against you. Will grows when pain becomes normal and "why me" turns into "try me." It's not built in comfort. It's dragged from the dirt with scarred hands and unbreakable silence. If you blink under pressure, you're running on hype, and hype dies fast. The one with will doesn't fold. He walks into pain like it owes him and doesn't leave until he's collected. This isn't a pep talk. It's a reminder. By the end, you'll remember who you are. The one who doesn't blink, the one who doesn't break. Talent burns hot at the start, but will lasts when the noise fades. That's why most never finish. They won't crawl through the quiet. Talent needs praise, momentum, and energy. Will doesn't need any of it. It moves long after others stop explaining why they couldn't. The world won't reward your potential. It respects execution, and execution belongs to the ones with will. I've seen those with nothing outlast those with everything because they could suffer without permission. Will doesn't wait for perfect timing. It shows up when the plan fails, when the answers don't come, and still says, "I finished this." People will call you obsessive, cold, or unbalanced. Let them. You need the grind that burns weakness out of your system until only purpose is left. Will is undefeated. It chips away at the impossible until only what you refuse to quit on remains. Champions aren't made in the spotlight. They're made in the quiet repetitions, without applause, in the moments no one sees. If you're tired of losing, stop hoping, stop begging, and start working when it hurts. Start rising when it's unfair. Start finishing what you once thought you couldn't. That's how those with will move. They don't just get faster, they get harder, colder, sharper. By the time the world notices, it's too late. You've bled for it, lost sleep for it, become impossible. to ignore. Talent runs out. Will grows teeth, patience, and clarity that don't break. When things fall apart, let others have the spotlight. You keep building in silence until they realize you weren't made to impress. You were made to outlast. The world remembers those who carried the weight no one else could hold. They're not always the loudest or most gifted, but they're the ones no one can replace because they don't blink. That's what you become when you live through will. When you kill your excuses, execute without applause, and let your name stand for action, not ego. The world won't thank you for this. It will fear you, misunderstand you, and try to soften you. Let it. You weren't built for comfort. You were built to stand when others vanish. Will isn't for those chasing ease. It's for those who want their name carved into something permanent. You don't blink because the moment you do, doubt walks in. You're not done until you've emptied every ounce of effort, until your absence feels like a storm that ended too soon. Some live to be understood. Others live to be undeniable. You are the latter, inevitable, unshakable, forged in battles you didn't run from. They'll never know the cost, never see the nights you almost broke, never feel the pressure you swallowed in silence. And that's what makes you different. You never needed them to understand, you just kept moving. Will doesn't end with your heartbeat. It lives in the standard you set, in the discipline you carry, in those who watched you and learned what's possible. You're not finished when you're tired. You're finished when the weight no longer needs you. And when the dust clears, the names and noise will fade, leaving one question. Did you blink? For you, the answer will always be no. You carried it through because you owned the eye of will.